In this video, we're going to be talking about the great news that just happened for the small amount of Cathie Wood fans that are still out there. I mean, it's been hard to be a Cathie Wood fan, but now we actually have some really cool positives and a new way to actually trade Cathie Wood funds. And to explain this best, I actually got an article from Market Insider. So, Cathie Wood bulls betting on ARKK rebound after huge rout can get twice the returns with this new fund. I've got the link there if you guys want to check it out, but let's just read through this a little bit. So, fans of Cathie Wood and her aim to invest in innovative companies can buy a forthcoming leveraged fund that is targeting twice the returns of the Ark Innovation ETF. The AXS 2X Innovation ETF, planning to trade under the ticker TARK, is aiming for 200% of the total returns of what you would see from Wood's flagship fund. A Tuesday filing from the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission showed the new fund won't start trading for at least 75 days, according to the filing. Now, how does this all work? So pretty much what they're doing is that they're taking all the money that you might be putting into it. Let's say you put in $1,000, okay? And then they're also going to put a little bit of debt, another $1,000, like a margin account, on top of what you're betting. So every single time that you buy, let's say, a share worth of ARKK, they're going to buy 2 shares and also attribute that to your account. So whenever the market goes up for Cathie Wood, you're also going to go up twice as fast. But that also happens whenever it starts to go down. You're going to lose twice as fast. But they can be quite dangerous because let's say if this fund was to lose 50% in a single day. That's, at this point, it's quite incredibly hard to do. But if that were to ever happen, this fund would actually go to absolute zero. So there is incredible risk, but it's like playing Cathie's Ark Innovation funds with twice the amount of volatility, leading to, if you get your bets right, a huge upside. Imagine a 2x on a Tesla investment as she, got those 100% gains. You would have gotten multiples on top of that if this fund were to be out at the time. And by the way, I don't recommend you actually do this, but you can actually get 3 times leveraged funds on both the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. Now, going back to the article, it comes as bets against Wood's Ark Innovation Fund are compounding with short interest as a percentage of her outstanding shares at a record of 9.4%. According to Bloomberg, which first noted the filing of the TARK fund, that Tuttle Capital's Short Innovation ETF, which bets against Wood's fund, launched last year. Now, what they're talking about is this fund, actually, the SARK, the Short Ark. Okay, in the last month, it's actually done phenomenally versus, ARK's funds, which in the last month have done terribly. So if you were to invest it in SARK, not just ARK, but Short Ark, that you would be betting against what she's doing. So every single time that her fund goes down, you would go up, or vice versa, right? So this is actually, in my opinion, a very risky bet, but just right now in the short term, it's panned out perfectly. But going back to the article here, so those anti-ARKK bets have paid off recently. The Ark Innovation ETF, which has big stakes in companies like Tesla, Zoom, and Coinbase, have slumped over 24% in the new year and is down over 55% from its highs amongst a mid-market sell-off that has hit tech stocks hard. The NASDAQ is down around 14% so far this year, and the S&P 500 down about 8%. But calls to buy the dip are growing on Wall Street as analysts view the recent sell-off as being overblown. And Fundstrat predicted the rapid dive will be followed by an even swifter recovery in February. Cathie Wood rose in popularity in 2020 when her flagship fund, which aimed to invest in disruptive technologies, posted massive gains of 153%, with the following year being a turbulent one as ARKK sank 23%, its worst since inception, amongst a broader market rally. See, the problem is that she gained so fast in 2020, 153%, that all the other companies are trying to search to be that next Tesla, but they can't grow at 153%. So these valuations on these companies like Zoom got way overblown, but that doesn't mean that they're not growing. People are trying to, attach Cathie Wood to a .com bubble and saying that the companies that she's buying aren't real. These are real customers. These companies are growing like crazy. They're just not growing at 153% per year, and that's normal. So the idea that we're going to have 1, 2, maybe even 3 years of not so well performing companies, until we get those valuations back in order, while they still continue to grow and do all these things and beat expectations, okay, it can take a little bit of ebb and flow of years that way outperform and then years that underperform, and way outperform and underperform. Peter Lynch actually saw the exact same thing, and he was one of the best fund managers of the 13 years that he ran the Magellan Fund. Although they even said that the average investor in the Magellan Fund actually lost money because exactly this. They buy in on the years that are up 153% and they sell today, right? They sell when it's down, even though it should be vice versa. That psychology of investing is very, very hard for people to wrap their head around, and so most people lose money. It's hard being a Cathie Wood bull from time to time, because obviously, sometimes she gets a huge amount of hate because she's not doing these 150% gains every year. But this could be a great way to take advantage of some very low prices if you truly do believe in what she's doing and buying these disruptive companies. Whenever you look at the price to sales of all these companies that she's holding, look at the difference between when it was at their all-time highs, when she was still buying, versus today. These are not the same companies that she was buying back then. Some of these are actually 10 times lower than what they were before. So you can actually be potentially getting a great deal. And if you want some leverage on that bet and you truly do believe in it in the short term, that this could be the bet for you. TARK should be coming out within the next 75 days. I'll be looking for it around mid-April. Now, if you want to see the 8 most popular stocks that Cathie Wood has to offer right now, you're going to want to check out my video right here. But if you haven't already, make sure you guys give me a like and subscribe down below if you want to see more financial content just like this.